Hi everybody, I'm Amy from the Cauldron, and in today's episode of Dye Time I'm going to be dyeing this 20 grams of Welsh top that I've sort of tied up together like this. Hopefully this is going to create some resists. I'm going to plop it in there. This is dry, and this here is leftover frozen acid dye from Dharma. There was originally 0.2 grams of dye in here. I don't know what it is now. This is left over from another project. And I'm just going to carefully submerge this. I don't know how bright this blue is going to be. I'm quite curious to see if I can create resists on here so that there's still some white fibre left over once I've finished dyeing this. There is loads and loads of vinegar in here. This is now the third project that I have used with this same dye bath. So I have absolutely no idea how much vinegar there is in here. There's a lot. And I'm going to keep this on low. Because this is an animal fibre, it needs heat, which it's got for the from the stove. It's got tons and tons of acid in here in the form of vinegar, and it needs the right sort of dye. As this is animal, you can use acid dyes, fibre reactive dyes, and food colouring. Those are the ones that I have used on animal fibres. So I'm going to watch this to make sure that the water doesn't get too agitated. I don't want to, water won't get agitated, so there's not too much movement in the water which will then agitate the fibre. That's what I'm trying to say. And we'll probably check back in about half an hour to see if all of this dye has absorbed to the fibre. This is a lovely blue. And then I may over dye it. I may not. We will see what it looks like when it's finished. This has been on the heat for longer than I had originally planned. It's actually been on the heat for about an hour now. I didn't quite mean to leave it that long, but I had some lunch and forgot what the time was. Good news though is that the dye bath is completely clear, so I can turn this off and let it cool down. I don't know if I'm going to over dye this. Some lovely resist points on this. I might not. I might just leave it as it is, and then I don't know. We will see when I come to wash this. Well, once it's cooled down. You can see along the bottom there's some resist from where this was sitting. That's quite fun. I don't know. I think what I'll do is wait for this to cool down, and I'll give it a little wash off, let it dry, and then we'll see just how much colour there is here, and then if I want to add any more colour to it or not. Full of indecisions, me. This has completely cooled down now, and it looks like there is no liquid. There's no dye left in that liquid. I'm going to gently untie this. I may regret this, but oh, I can see some really nice resists on here. Oh, that's pretty. So what I'm going to do now is gently wash this. I'm going to let this soak in some water. I'm going to add the tiniest bit of washing up liquid. I don't know if I'm going to add any more dye to this, but I'm going to just let that soak. Change the water. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any blue coming out. There is some blue on the inside of this saucepan, so I'm actually going to use the sink instead. I need to give that saucepan a good scrub. There we go. Just going to let this sit in here for a few minutes, and then we'll change the water. That is looking pretty good to me. Let that sit there in this water for a few minutes more, and then I can hang this out to dry. And here is the finished fibre. I'm really happy with how this has turned out. I love that we've still got these lovely resist points. There are some bits that are smaller, some bits that are bigger, and then we've still got lots of this lovely colour throughout as well. And it doesn't seem to have felted because I can still pull this apart quite easily. So that's always a huge worry of mine when I dye fibre, is that it will felt. So I'm always extra cautious when it comes to this. And so far I haven't felted, but there's a first time for everything. I'm going to go and spin this now. I'm very curious to see how this will spin out. I'm curious to know if there'll be blue patches and white patches, or if it will sort of all blend together to be a more lighter blue. We will see. And here is the fibre spun up into a very small skein of yarn. There's really not much yarn here at all. But that's more to do with my spinning than anything else. I really like how we've still got the dark blue bits, but there's not really much white. It's all sort of blended into this sort of pale blue colour, which if you compare it with a section that has quite a lot of dye, they are different, but I really like it that we don't really have those patches of white. There are little bits, but there's a lot less white in this than there was in the actual fibre. And again with the blue, there's a lot less of the solid blue, the bright blue in this. It's all spun out to that lovely pale blue. And with this I did chain ply for the very first time, which is where you create a 3-ply yarn from one bobbin of spun fibre. Now I really love how this looks when I got it right. I think it's really pretty when I got it right. But when I overspun it, like here, no, not there. There it is. When I overspun it, this is probably the worst patch. It's really hard to go back and unwind the overspun bits. But this was my very first time doing chain ply, so I can only get better, I hope. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this has turned out, and now I know that the white will blend out and create a lighter colour overall. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Do please click like and subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment down below, let me know what you thought of this video. Do you want to see more spinning and dyeing videos? Let me know. I have more fibre that I want to dye. Should I dye it first and then spin it, or should I spin it first and then dye it? Let me know down in the comments. While you're at it, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. I publish a new dyeing tutorial every Monday, usually around about 6 PM UK time, and I do like to try to do different things in every video, so there should be something interesting to watch every week. Thank you so much for watching.